Welcome once again to DilSe Stories. Today we have another very special guest, Santanu Ghatak. Uh, Welcome to our channel.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Uh, could you please introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Sure. I am currently, if I have to introduce myself, I will say that I am a working actor. I am a music composer and a lyricist in Hindi primarily. And I also sing. I have, to my credit, I have acted in few films like Tumhari Sulu, Thappad, a few web series, like there's a web series called Hasmukh on Netflix. Then there is one called Special Ops 1.5, which is on Hotstar. I don't know how much of it is accessible in the US. So I've done several web series as well. I've done many commercial advertisements, like advertisement work as an actor. And as a songwriter, are you familiar with the film Tumhari Sulu of Vidya Balan? Have you seen it by any
Uh,
chance?
no, I haven't, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Now
That's
I
okay.
will. I will definitely watch it now.
Yeah, so in that film, that was my first film in which I acted, but also incidentally, that was the film in which I wrote and composed a song called Rafu, which was there in the film and sung by a female singer, Ronkini. And the song is not very popular, but the song had fetched both of us a nomination at Filmfare, which like I got a lyricist nomination and she got a playback singer nomination. We didn't win, but my very first song in a film took me to Filmfare. But post that, I have not really had so many highs, but I have composed music for some web series, a couple of other films, etc., but not a lot of commercial work. But I keep doing a lot of independent music and I keep writing and producing my own songs. And either most of them I make other singers sing, or sometimes I sing them myself as well. So because of Spotify and audio platforms, it is very easy to publish your own songs. You do not need labels anymore. So that process is, and I also write my own songs. What else? So that is my current, like, that's what I do. I'm an actor, I'm a working actor, I'm a composer and a lyricist. And sometimes I also sing. On Instagram, I keep singing, but formally, I don't sing formally so much.
You sound like the full package. So, for the sake of our audience, I'm Parag Bharadwaj. I'm a physician, and we had the honor to connect with you today. So, very excited to talk to you. Uh, so, tell us about your background. Where do you come from? How did your journey start and get you to where you are today?
Yeah, so I have actually, like, I can very comfortably say that I can divide my life into two distinct portions. One is where I grew. I was born in Calcutta, raised in a middle class Bengali family. For my higher studies, I moved to Delhi, and I pursued a master's in statistics from Indian Statistical Institute in Delhi. After getting that master's degree, I joined a bank, American Express, in their risk management department, and I worked there for several years. And I grew up the ladder to a upper management level. And then something happened, which I don't really know what happened. Something went cuckoo in the head, I guess. I decided that all of this is not for me. And I've always drawn to music because my father was a musician. There was a lot of music in our family. My grandfather was a composer back in the day. So that point in my life, I kind of changed careers. And about 10 years ago, I decided to shift to Bombay. I took up a job initially in a bank because I wanted to figure out things in Bombay. But then after a couple of years, I left that job. And since then, I have been either acting or doing music or, yeah, surviving in Bombay. I cannot say that I'm very famous, but I changed career graphs completely. So
Yeah,
that's
that
me, Shell.
that takes a lot of courage, and clearly you are very accomplished in what you were doing. And I'll tell you, statistics is a tough subject. So yeah, it's so you chose one of the toughest subjects to study, and then then you switch gears. So was it a process or was it a moment where you said, you know what, I've got to make a move?
I wish I could say that I had this my one moment of epiphany and then I thought that okay अब चलो अभी time हो गया ऐसा it wasn't actually ऐसा नहीं था. It was a long painful process of slowly realizing your how should I put it, disinterest in what you're gradual growing disinterest in what you're doing and trying to do something else. So initially it was music. I thought that I have to do music, I have to make songs, and I have to learn more music. That is, and but acting also kept happening on the side. I used to do theater in Delhi while working in the company. We used to do like working professionals theater in Delhi, like over the weekends and all of that. So धीरे I think वो it was not one moment. It took a while for 3, 4, 5 years for me to kind of, and I also, because I come from a very middle class family, I also wanted to ensure that financially I'm in a uh, comfortable position because see, I mean, if you're completely changing professions, there is no guarantee of an income that's going to come. And Bombay is a very tough city to live. So all of that, all those considerations, all those calculations I had to do so that I can kind of survive without working. So so all of that I did basically. And finally I'm here. I've managed from 2016 onwards, I've been 100% doing this. So it's been quite a number of years actually, and I'm still hanging on.
So I'm just going to be putting you on the spot. Statistically speaking, you know the effort you made to change paths, right?
Uh,
I mean, I'm assuming if you just look at it from the outside, right? I have no idea. I'm speaking out of ignorance about the industry and how it works. The cards were stacked against you, right? So because you hear about so many struggling actors who never make it, and
yeah,
here you
yeah.
are, you were in a different field, and then you all of a sudden decide to pursue arts, and
Hmm.
you've acted in movies. So what was the process? Because, I mean, when I go for a job, I present my resume, right? And
Hmm.
they look at the background to say, hey, you have experience in this, so you maybe you might be a suitable candidate for the job. But you had no background. I mean, you said you've done some theater. So
Hmm.
how were you picked for your first role? What
Hmm.
what made you
That's
get the first break?
a good question. My first acting assignment was actually a McDonald's ad. The McDonald's TVC. And this story is interesting in the sense that as I said, I was in Delhi while working. We working professionals used to put up small theater pieces. It's not really considered professional theater, but still it would be there would be a stage and people would come in. So in one of those performances, there's this concept called the casting director in Bombay. Like people who cast actors. So they are always on the lookout for new faces. So one casting director had come to one of the shows. So he came up to me and later he said that I said, what is I didn't even know what a casting director is. I had no idea. So he said, I want to audition you for an ad. And I was still in Delhi then. So he auditioned me for that McDonald's ad and I miraculously, I got that ad, my first audition. So I went to Bombay and I actually shot for that ad. I had absolutely no idea how to shoot in front of a camera, nothing. But somehow I pulled it off. I don't know how instinctively. I have no idea. Today's generation, it is much easier to say because we are always with a camera. I am talking about 10 years ago when this was not what we didn't have. We were not so camera friendly like we are today, you know. So I somehow it felt easy. It didn't feel very difficult to me somehow. And that ad came, and then right after that, I moved to Bombay. And because I did that one ad, my number got circulated in the casting director community, you know and then used to keep getting auditions, audition calls and stuff. But the next ad, you will be surprised, the next ad that I got was after 2 years. I kept on auditioning for 2 years. I didn't get anything. So then after that, then they started calling me for film auditions also. Once that number circulates, the same casting directors who cast for TVC's ads also cast for films. So then they call you for, so then I got one role, then I got something else, something, and you keep doing small. So there are, see, this acting industry is the very interestingly, you can define it as winner takes it all industry. There's the first and there is everybody else. It's not first, second, third, fourth. There's no gradation that either you are there or you are like everybody else, you know. So I am an actor, I'm a working actor, but I'm not there. I am like everybody else. I also get work. I also do things. But to be there, you have to get that one opportunity which will push you to that point. You know, like for instance, I was watching that interview that you sent me of Shirisha. Shirisha with her Indian Idol and everything, but she got Kala, right? The songs of Kala. That kind of put her in that a different bracket, you know. So you need to get that opportunity. I have got interesting small opportunities. There are certain things coming up also this year for me. Let's see, fingers crossed, whether you can cross over to that point where you are someone to be considered. You know, I'm being very honest here.
No, I appreciate your honesty, and I think that's what I think you're such a relatable face, you know. Um, and I can see why they picked you for those why they pick you for those ads.
Mhm.
It's something they're very genuine and innocent and sincere about you. And clearly you made an impression, right? Because I had only read about these things or heard about these things. Hey, I was sitting and having coffee, or somebody spotted me and then they
Yeah,
picked
yeah.
me for. But this, I mean, this is the first time I'm meeting somebody virtually where it actually really happened, where you were performing something and somebody approached you to say, "Hey,
Mm.
I want to audition you," and it worked. So, I mean that,
Worked. Yeah.
and there's a trend, right? I mean, you auditioned for the first gig and then you got it, and then you wrote the lyrics for your first song, and then you got nominated for Filmfare, which in
Mm.
itself is a huge. I mean, to me,
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
outsider, it's a big deal.
I'm
Yeah,
extremely grateful to the universe that, see, after that, my music career, frankly speaking, the way I had thought after a Filmfare nomination, the way it will pick up, it didn't really happen. And also the music industry has inherently changed, you know. So that's a different story. That's a different story. Music, when you have to talk about music, that's a totally different story. Acting is totally, because these two industries have like transformed themselves in very different ways. The acting industry has also transformed over the years, and the music industry has also transformed. So these transformations, because I'm in both places, I can clearly see what those transformations are. For music, it has been a little sad, I would say, the transformation.
got it. Would you like to elaborate when you say sad, or should we move on?
No, no, I would love to elaborate. This is my favorite topic to talk about. No, basically, what has happened is that, somewhere around 2010, I think music started becoming free. When with the advent of YouTube and everything, you realize that, oh, I don't really need to buy anything to listen to. I can, it is everything. And every song in the world is now either available on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes. And you can might take a subscription, but it does not really equate to what it used to be, going physically to a store and purchasing the. So basically, music became free. So anything that becomes free loses its value. That's a fact. It's a fact of economics. So the importance of music also, like in films earlier, the music used to have a proper revenue stream. Like you sell audio cassettes, you sell CDs. So the producer who is making 5 songs in a film also has a revenue stream where he knows that so he's invested in the songs. Now what has happened is, because of music becoming free, songs in films are devices to bring people into the theater. And such a device cannot really be a romantic song or a philosophical song. Such a device will be an item number or an extremely sad song. You know, so unfortunately, in Hindi films right now, you have only 2 slots. One is item number, where you can dance to, or you make a very sad song sung by Arijit Singh. These are the only 2 slots. There is no song of contemplation. There is no song of friendship. There is no song of just everyday life or the way it used to be, you know. That's gone. And on top of that, we have done away with lip syncing in movies. We don't do lip sync songs anymore because we feel that that's not cool because we want to be international in our cinema. So it is realistic. So that is also gone. That's also taken away from. So the song happens in the background. It's like background music. So me as a composer, I like for me a song is like a visual, also has a visual significance to it. Like if I think of a song like kuch to log kahenge logon ka kaam hai kehna, it is just not a song, it has several visuals, several. So I when I make a song, for me those are the inspirations, to me. So there is I like unfortunately there is no space for that kind of expression anymore if there are only two slots, an item song and a sad song.
It's fascinating just listening to you because you said you've transitioned, into different phase in your life, doing different things, but you're still thinking like a mathematician, right? There are two different slots.
Yeah, yeah,
It's fascinating, right?
yeah.
Because I think that's the way you think, and it's
Analytically,
fascinating.
I have
Yeah,
this tendency to think
yeah,
analytically.
which is fascinating, right? So before I continue with my other questions, I will request the audience to actually go and visit your Instagram page, which we'll have the link to in the description. It's fascinating. I mean, the way you sing songs and then the way you um, explain the intricacy of those songs, it's fascinating to me. Uh,
Mm.
so please visit his Instagram page. I think you'll be in for a treat. Now, coming back, so which came first, acting or singing or composing?
See,
Shed some light on that aspect.
if I, yeah, so basically I grew up in a very, like a very Bengali household with lots of Tagore and lots of, the typical Bengali household where people read books and people listen to very good quality music and all of that. So I grew up in that kind of an atmosphere, very, how should I put, very erudite kind of an atmosphere, very scholarly atmosphere. That's how I grew up. So, and my father used to sing. My grandfather, he was a music composer, as I was saying. So that was there. There was in the blood. So we used to keep listening to a lot of. My father made me listen to so many beautiful, such amazing songs, and I'm very thankful to my father for introducing me to beautiful music, Indian music primarily. And then when I went to college, I got introduced to Western music, Beatles and Pink Floyd, and all of that, everything. Like so but I was always singing because my father could sing, so I got the singing thing from that. So I was, and in school also I used to learn singing, but I never really formally learned like Indian classical music. I didn't really get because my father used to say that गाना गा के क्या होगा, focus on your studies. मतलब मेरा भी कुछ नहीं हुआ, तुम्हारा भी कुछ नहीं होगा. He was also a music composer. Nothing happened for him, so he discouraged me, frankly. So my learning didn't really happen in a very good way, but instinctively because I had music, so I still managed a lot by listening and picking up things here and there. And so to your question, whether acting came first, obviously singing and music, all of that was there from the very beginning. Acting, I don't know how. I used to do skits in schools. I was always one of the children who would volunteer to do the skit, you know. And then that professional theater, like non-professional theater I was doing in Delhi while I was working, I think that's where it happened. Like we all of us, we don't, none of us are actors, but we still want to make a theater and do a play. So that's where the acting bit happened, you know. So mm, so I got no formal training in acting. Even till today I have no formal training in acting. Formal training in music I started in 2015 to learn Indian classical music. And that has also been a very long journey, and I'm still learning because that is never going to end. But I have definitely become more knowledgeable than what I used to be, but very late in life.
I mean, you're an adventurer with a very adventurous streak, that's for sure. So let's talk about like when you are shooting for a movie or ad, when you're listening to I don't know if it works this way or not, but if they have music in the background or not, if it is a song piece, something to do with the song, do they have times when they're playing music in the background? No?
No, unless it is a musical piece or whatever,
Yeah.
but in regular scenes, there's no music.
Yeah, but then if it's a musical scene and you listen to the music, does your musician take over to say, hey, maybe that composition could have been a little bit
Yeah,
different?
it happens. I feel like क्या average composition किया है मैं इससे बेहतर करता. Yeah, I always, but I
Yeah.
culprit him. Obviously, it's not my. I can't say that. But वही
Right.
वही composition, same घिसा पिटा
Yeah.
आप कर.
Yeah.
But I keep it to myself. I do feel it.
Yeah. But it's fascinating just talking to you. It's you're so multifaceted. So what excites you? I mean, you've got so many things going on, right? What really gets you like
I get
jazzed up?
very, I get very confused, I'll be honest with you because one thing is to do one thing and do that one thing very well. And now you have jack of all trades, master. Really, am I a master of anything? I don't know. But being the jack of all trades. So I get confused. Sometimes I feel that no, I should take acting very, very seriously. It's a very important part of it, has given me a lot of recognition and everything. But music is something that I've known forever, you know so I kind of get intrinsically drawn towards music only most of the time. And acting, घर बैठ के तो कोई acting नहीं कर सकता. मैं क्या मैंने अगर somebody gives you some project, you can do that acting. But practicing monologues in front of the mirror I don't think that is a very good practice anyway. It makes you too narcissistic. So acting has no riyaz. And acting riyaz is being aware of what is happening around the world. Like if there is a war happening in Gaza, you should know what is happening. Or if Trump is going to come again, what are the chances of Trump's coming or whatever. But if there's whether it is science, whether it is economics, so the more knowledgeable you are, the better an actor you will be. And this actually one of my acting coaches, like I used to work with this theater person in Bombay when I initially came, Sunil Shanbag, he's very famous here. He always told us that acting riyaz is basically being knowledgeable about as many subjects as you can. Whereas music riyaz, there's a proper way, you can practice saregama, you can practice ragas and everything. So I get drawn towards that only most of the time because there's a structured way to do that. The acting bit, yes, I'm gathering knowledge like that I always used to gather. All of us do. So just keeping your eyes and ears open, then you will be a good actor, I think.
Great. So let's talk
Did it make
about
sense what
you.
I said? Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah. Thank you for explaining it so well. Now,
mm.
the lyricist in you, tell us about
Arre,
that process. How?
because this is very funny, actually. I think I'm a fake Hindi lyricist. I'm a fake. While I'll tell why, although I have a Filmfare nom, and you should listen to the song. I think you'll like the song, Rafu. I'll send you the link. Um,
Thank you.
uh, Coming to lyrics is basically, see, I started very seriously composing music in 2013, and I'll tell you why. Because from 2013 onwards, if I do a time series analysis of the how Bollywood music has been going to the dogs slowly downwards, I think the downward spiral started happening in 2013 because that's when after that the songs have become very like it has got. Before that, actually there was a very good period from mid 90s till 2013 where very interesting songs used to happen in Bollywood, like with Shankar Hassan Loy, Vishal Bharadwaj, Vishal and Shekhar, AR Rahman. He's still there, but after 2013 somehow other musicians came in, this remix era started and all of that. So that started. I said that there's nothing to learn now because every time a new song would come, I would learn the song. That used to be my satisfy my musical appetite. But the song quality started deteriorating so much that I was not even interested in learning those songs, those new songs that came. So I thought I will make my own songs. So I started making.
Wow. That is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. That was the reason. So I
Necessity
started
is a mother
making.
of creation, right?
Yeah, I said I'm not finding anything from my regular dose of Bollywood music. I've grown up on Bollywood music and such amazing, talented music there used to be. But after 2013, it just went down. So I thought I will make my, but I couldn't. I'm a Bengali. My Hindi, I have lived in Delhi for many years. My Hindi is okay. So I started writing in Bengali. So initially, I used to make only Bangla songs. Okay. But then my friend Ronkini, who's also my teacher, from whom I'm learning music right now, she told me, try Hindi. I said, my Hindi is very bad. Well, try. You will be able to do it. So I kept on trying, and all these years and now I've become very good because I've been reading up. I've increased my vocabulary, and I kept on writing. I've written so many songs. So करते practice करते अभी अच्छा हो गया हूँ मैं. काफी अच्छा हो गया है मेरा अभी. खुद ही बोल
So,
रहा हूँ.
I mean, it's quite all right. Uh, how many songs in your song bank?
I have made maybe 700, 800 songs.
And how many have you released?
Very few, 20. But all those 700, 800 are not good because you make 20 songs, 25 songs, the 26th one is good. But to reach the 26th one, you have to make 25 not so good ones.
Yeah, but also one thing I've heard about singers is, especially lyricists, is you never know what will click with the audience, right? Because I was talking to somebody and they said, the song that was the biggest hit was a song that they were about to shelve, right?
Yeah, it is possible. Yeah, absolutely.
So
But I have never really created anything keeping any audience in mind. I have
no, no,
always made what I like. And somehow
nice.
managed whatever commercial work has come. So that's why it's so little work has come. Somehow, whatever I wanted to put out, people have taken also that it in that form. And but yeah, what you're saying is absolutely right. That sometimes one song you feel that what is this is, but then that is the one that becomes very big. That can always happen. Yeah.
Because what I'm sensing is you identified the need of the hour and you come up with relatable things and relatable topics. You're not in those confining yourself in those two particular categories necessarily, right? So
That's why, yeah, I'm. That's why I'm releasing so much of independent music. I keep
yeah.
releasing indie. If you keep following me on Instagram, I keep releasing independent music. There's one coming up in May. So there's something will come in June. So I'm constantly working on new songs and releasing them independently.
And how long does it take for you to, work on a song and release it?
So, say I make a song, I write a song, I compose the song. I generally compose on the guitar. And then work with producers, music producers who kind of create. I don't know how familiar you are because you need a producer who will compute because everything is digital right now. So you have to put it inside the computer and you play the piano. So it becomes a track. And once the track is made, the singer comes and sings the song. And after the singer song, then it's mixed and then you release the song. And so typically it can take it's a 3-month process for one song. And that
It keeps
time
you.
it takes even longer also.
So you're doing that along with your acting and other things that you do in life. So
Yeah.
you must be a pretty busy person.
There is so much time.
Yeah.
Still there is so much time. After doing all of it, still there is a lot of time.
So I have a sense you're going to pick up some other hobby. I wouldn't, don't mean to say that acting and music are hobbies for you, but
Mhm.
I think that you have such a desire to learn and grow. I'm assuming
Mm.
you'll pick up something else as well along the way. The interesting thing to me is, I've noticed that people who are very good in music are usually very good in math.
Yeah, there is a correlation.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is
Music
that.
is very mathematical.
Right.
Music, actually, music is a marriage between mathematics and emotion.
Very well said.
So if you take the emotion completely out, then music becomes very technical, and that kind of music also people make very technical music, very cerebral. You know. But if you take the mathematics out completely and just focus on emotion, then also it becomes too simplistic and very like commonplace and nothing non-innovative. So you have to find the perfect mix of mathematics and emotion to make a song.
Wow, I'm glad I asked that question. You responded so well, and I think the simplicity of your responses and your approach on your videos is, I think, what makes things very special and unique.
These videos, frankly, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
these videos I'm doing because I have always been conflicted about social media. So I have not been very active on social media. But now I'm thinking that if I am there, I better be there properly and let me do my kind of things. Because अब मैं आपको बस सच सच बताऊं कि हम लोग बड़े होते हैं ना, तो हमको क्या सिखाया जाता है कि बेटा अपने बारे में बात मत करो, लोग बोलेंगे बड़ बोले हो। अपने बारे में खुद दूसरे तुम्हारे बारे में आके बात करेंगे तो अच्छी बात है। तो दिस इज द संस्कार दैट यू ग्रो अप ऑन, बट सोशल मीडिया इज कंप्लीट कॉन्ट्रेरी टू दैट। देयर यू हैव टू कीप सेलिंग योरसेल्फ, मैं ये हूं, मैं ये मेरा फोटो, मैं ये इधर, मैंने वहां गया, मैंने ये किया। सो आई वाज एक्सट्रीमली कॉन्फ्लिक्टेड इन द बिगिनिंग के हाउ दिस कन्वर्टिंग योरसेल्फ इनटू अ ब्रांड रादर देन अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, यू नो। But then I decided I should just do it. I mean, I shouldn't, otherwise, I should just not be on social media. There's no point being on social media and being a voyeur into other people's pages. You should participate, I think. So that's my new me. I'm trying to, and so this is an educative thing that I've started. I felt this is one way I could express myself. But for that, also, I have to do a lot of research. And I don't have, like, I'm trying to do one every week, one story every week. बट फॉर दैट ऑल्सो खत्म हो जाएंगे ना स्टोरीज, कितने स्टोरीज, मतलब वो भी तो है बात। तो आई एम कॉन्स्टेंटली नाउ आई एम थिंकिंग के अगला क्या, व्हाट एल्स कैन आई से, व्हाट आर देयर। जब खत्म हो जाएंगे तो आई विल स्टॉप बेसिकली।
I hope your stories never stop because they're very entertaining and informative and educational. So yeah, again, I'll be looking forward to seeing more of them. And I request the audience to do the same. It's a treat. And so, very quickly before we wind up, what can we expect in the coming months or years from you?
Years, तो I don't know. But this year, I can say I have two web shows coming up. In one, it's a comedy show. One is a comedy show where I have got a good character, it's an ensemble cast. It's and that one should come sometime in July. And I have done one more secondary part in another show called Dabba Cartel, which has already been announced on Netflix, which will come by the end of the year. There I have a nice sizable role. These are the two things I'm looking forward to this year in terms of
Awesome.
acting.
And then we'll also look at listening to your music. So with that, I'm
Yeah.
sorry we're running out of time, but we'll
Yeah,
wind
absolutely.
up and namaskar. We will
Yeah.
have you back again.
Okay.
Please do come
Sure.
back.
Sure. Thank you for doing this.
It's been a
I hope
pleasure
I
talking
didn't
to you.
disappoint.
It was fantastic.
Thank you so much.